Welcome students. Today I am going to talk about the evolution of language, and after briefly discussing this topic we will come directly to the history of English language, that is the focus area of our study. Actually today around 7,000 languages are spoken across the world, and there is a general consensus that most of these languages evolved from a single source. They separated in the course of time from single source. And that is why if all the languages are classified and affinity is traced among them, there are a few language families that come to us. And our English language belong to the family called Indo-European family of languages. There are other languages in that family as well, other groups of languages. So before coming to this topic, we are supposed to know certain facts about the evolution of language, and it is an established fact today that even our earliest of forefathers, even the earliest of hominids, you can say, had some advanced way of communication, and that separated them from animals. They could communicate with much more efficiency than other animals. And that fact is corroborated by the recent researches when Broca's area and Wernicke's area came to the light. Broca's area and Wernicke's area are generally called the language organs of human beings, and they are somewhere located in our brain. If our Broca's area is affected, we will still be able to speak words, but we will not be able to arrange them into meaningful sentences, meaningful structures. And similarly, if Wernicke's area is affected, we can just produce a rhythm of sentences, but we cannot form meaningful sentences. We will not be able to utter the words. So it means that these language organs are the main thing that make us so less like animals in terms of communication skill. And that is why, only because of these language organs, we are able to communicate in such an organized way, in a much more advanced way than other animals. So this is an added advantage to the human beings that were conferred upon them by nature in the course of evolution. So now we can conveniently come to our main topic. Actually, towards the end of 18th century, Sir William Jones proposed that there are a kind of affinities, there are certain kind of affinities among the European languages such as Greek and Latin and the Indian classical language Sanskrit. And his proposal inspired many linguists, and some of them were successful in hypothesizing or theorizing this idea. They came to a conclusion that there are apparent differences in these languages, and still there are affinities. And the apparent differences are due to the sound changes, particularly the consonant changes. Grimm and Werner were the main linguists who propounded their theories in this regard. Grimm and Werner's law is in your syllabus, and we will discuss those laws in detail in our subsequent lectures. But for now, we should discuss the main family of language, that is called Indo-European family of languages, where different groups of languages are included. So we can find that all these languages somehow evolved from a single source, a single proto language, and in the course of time became so varied, so differentiated, so separated from one another. Still, that's what Grimm and Werner showed, that these differences are consistent. Means if a particular sound differs in Sanskrit and English, most of the words beginning with those sounds will have the same difference. So there is a consistency in the difference as well. That will be shown in the subsequent lecture when we will discuss those things in detail. But for now, we should talk about the family of Indo-European languages. So, Indo-European family of languages. We can have Indian language, we can have Iranian, Armenian, Hellenic, Italic, Hitti, Tocharian, and have Balto-Slavic, and have Germanic. So we have these groups of languages or individual languages coming under this family, Indo-European family. Earlier, this family was better known as Aryan family of languages, but you know the colonial bias and the nomenclature was changed to Indo-European family of languages because they wanted to propose something new, the colonial writers. So this family of languages must have evolved from one single proto-language. It is generally believed. It is generally proposed as well. And Indian language is definitely the oldest one among them. So we have Sanskrit mainly in Indian language, and we have Prakrit, and a branch of Prakrit known as Pali that separated itself and evolved as established itself as a literary language. Prakrit continued to evolve in different branches: Hindi, Urdu, Bengali, Marathi, And one more branch is Romanic. This is spoken in a particular area around Sindh, but this is also believed to have evolved from Prakrit. Actually, Sanskrit is established as the oldest extant language, but Sanskrit, the word itself, suggests that it is a polished language, it is a brushed language and processed language. So, is it possible for the earliest human being, our earliest forefathers, to evolve that kind of processed, finished language like Sanskrit and name it as Sanskrit? So many linguists, particularly Indian linguists, propose that Prakrit would have in use earlier than Sanskrit, and from Prakrit, Sanskrit would have evolved. And Prakrit, as it was at that time, served the general purpose of speech, and Sanskrit evolved as a literary language out of Prakrit. This is also a hypothesis, you can say. It is conjectural. We don't have any evidence to prove that, but Indian linguists, language experts believe so. So we have all these languages evolving from single source. Again, we have Iranian. The earliest branch of Iranian language is known as Avesta, and another branch is Old Persian, which is also called Pahlavi, and from that we have many other languages such as modern Afghan languages, Pashtun, Kurdish, and modern Persian as well. All these languages evolved from Iranian branch. Then we have Armenian. This language is not very much popular today, but it is still spoken in certain regions. Then we have Hellenic. Greek evolved from Hellenic, so you can understand it as Greek. Then we have Italic. Latin evolved from Italic, and from Latin different Romance languages evolved. Romance languages include French, Portuguese, Spanish. All these languages are called, even Italian, all these languages are called Romance languages. French has different dialects such as Norman, Burgundian, and all those, and the language, the dialect is spoken around Paris evolved as the standard French, and so it is in use today. All these languages are not of our interest, so we will only describe them as far as necessary. Hittito-Charian are spoken by a small group of people today. Then we have Balto-Slavic. Our Russian language evolved from these. Belarusian language, Slavic language, all these languages evolved from Balto-Slavic. Lithuanian from Baltic source, Russian, Belarusian from Slavic source. These things should be in your mind. You should have an idea, a brief idea of these languages, this group of languages. Then we have Germanic. We are supposed to know this group in a little detail. We have three branches: East, North, and West. East, North, and West from Germanic group. This branch has Gothic language, This branch has a Scandinavian language, Icelandic and all that you can say. And West Germanic was the source of High and Low German. And from this High German, we have the modern German, and from this Low German, we have Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. So you are supposed to remember this, that Germanic language, Germanic group of languages had three branches: East, North, and West. From the West branch, we have two subclasses, High German and Low German, and from Low German we have our English language. From these two branches we have Gothic and Scandinavian and Old Norse, you can say. From North Germanic we have Old Norse language, then we have Scandinavian languages. So these are the different branches of Indo-European family of languages. Do you think you should know this group in great detail? Little more detail, I mean. Germanic had three branches: East, North, and West. From East we have Gothic and other languages as well. From North we have Old Norse, and then Scandinavian languages, and from West we have High and Low German. From this High German we have Modern German, and from Low German we have Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. So this is the case. You can see this. West branch has two subclasses, High and Low. From High German we have Modern German, and from Low we have Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. Now we will come to this branch of language. This is our focus area, Low German. And how it began to be established as a language, as a separate language, how these people came to their present abode in land. All these things will be discussed in our next lecture. Subsequent lectures we will get the detail of Old English, the characteristics of Old English, English, Middle English, and Modern English, and all the other nuances of English languages. So enjoy your study till then. Stay tuned. Subscribe the channel.